Hello, my name is Martin Scorsese, and now I'm going to talk about the films of Michael Powell and Emeric Pressburger. It's something I've been doing for years. I'm not going to explain the films. I don't think they need any explanation, but I'm going to try to share my love for them. You know, for us, it was a mystery, a shared title card which read, written, produced, and directed by Michael Powell and Emeric Pressburger. As film viewers, we weren't used to seeing title cards like that. And since then, a lot has happened since I saw those films for the first time as a child. Michael, who I'm proud to say became my friend, and Emeric, and they were kings of British cinema throughout the 1940s as the Archers. That was the name of their company. And as the Archers, they made some of the boldest, bravest, most beautiful, innovative, and emotionally stirring films in the history of the art form.
Emir, tyranny?
Well, let me know if you're going to do that again, won't you?
But in the 1950s, everything started coming apart, and their partnership just came to an end. Then, at the beginning of the 60s, Michael made a picture called Peeping Tom. Like Psycho, it really came as a profound shock to audiences. Unlike Psycho, it was reviled and dismissed, and basically finished him in the film industry that he had helped build. In the 1970s, after he made a lovely picture in Australia called Age of Consent, Michael went into a kind of exile. Yet he never stopped trying to get pictures made. Nevertheless, he was out of fashion.
I got a sort of routine here. I work on my autobiography in the morning. And then, about 11 o'clock, I aim at 1,000 words.
Now, for me, and for many other filmmakers I knew who were coming up in the 70s, as Michael was a hero, with Emeric and on his own. He was one of our true masters. And at a certain point in the late 70s, I decided to seek him out in London. And when we met that first time, I found that Michael had resigned himself to being forgotten, being a relic of the past. But I came to tell him that his pictures had inspired me, nurtured me, sustained me, myself, Francis Coppola, George Romero, Brian De Palma, and Bertrand Tavernier, and so many others. We became friends, close friends. He married my dear friend and the person who has edited most of my films, Thomas Goodmaker. He advised me on all my pictures at every stage. He joined me for family meals and gatherings, and Thelma and I, we worked together on David Hinton's picture Made in England, which is a part of this program. In that film with David and Thelma, I try to express all of my feelings about Michael and his movies.
What's going on here?
Invasion, sir.
But you damned young idiot, war starts at midnight.
Now, taken together, the 5 titles that have been selected for this tribute are some kind of artistic peak, I think, in the history of the cinema. I've seen each of them many times, and each time, it's kind of a new experience. The pictures seem to grow and change, and they just evolve with time. The Edge of the World, which Michael made on his own, is followed by 4 pictures from his extraordinary run with Emeric Pressburger. Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, I Know Where I'm Going, A Matter of Life and Death, and The Red Shoes. And I must say these films are unlike anything else in movies. They are dynamic, they are magical, and this is in the best sense of the word. They are extraordinarily inventive and innovative. They are wildly entertaining, and they are endlessly surprising. They are very funny, and always unexpectedly moving. And they have something which is rare. a deep connection to the uncanny, the eternal, the mystic. They asked me, do I have a favorite? I really can't say, but I can say that The Red Shoes, which I saw on its first release when I was 10 years old, in glorious Technicolor, and it was the only film I saw for like 10 or 15 years in its complete form, because the films after that were only shown in edited versions in black and white until they were restored. At that point, and still does, the film came to me as a revelation. It's a film about dance, but at a deeper level, it's about the obsession of art. Art as a practice and art as life. If you're going to do it, you have to go all the way. You have to live with it and love it madly, which I believe is the way Michael did. On the other hand, Life and Death of Colonel Blimp gets richer each time I experience it.
Meine Damen und Herren! Stop it, Carnets, I'm with a lady. You should have thought of that before you started your little joke. Erlauben Sie mir, dass Stop it, Carnets. Take off your... Come on, be a good lad. Come in, Carnets! Get back to your table. Dafür werden Sie Rechenschaft geben. Sie Flegel, Sie! Rasch, hilf mir, Hans! Herr Kapellmeister, spielen Sie einen Walzer. Please tell him that it's all his fault. He started it.
Somehow the collaboration worked in such a way that there was a generosity and a love between the two that they allowed themselves to share a title card. And so this means something very special. I think on their own, it would have been obviously very, very different. I don't know if Emeric, I think, directed one film later on. Michael had been directing other films before he met Emeric. But I do think somehow the collaboration, like the Taviani brothers or the Coen brothers or that sort of thing, somehow brought out something very special in both of them that maybe certainly would have gone a very different way. One doesn't know. It could have been in terms of Powell's films alone or Emeric Pressburger's work alone. Maybe some other milestones in cinema, but we'll never know that. Now, Emeric passed away in 1988, and Michael died 2 years later. And I must say I've missed him every day since. But, you know, he gave so much of himself to his pictures that whenever I see them, I actually feel his presence in them. The cutting, the use of movement, the use of music, movement of the actors, camera movement, the constant surprise of the storytelling, the lasting vision. These pictures from Michael Powell and Emeric Pressburger have been true companions in my life, and I never get tired of sharing my love for them.